Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Not sure when or where you're watching this recording, but Ian asked me to update you on some of the contributing initiatives of GeoGlam. I already did two, so guessing you're kind of fed up with my face and my voice as well. So I bundled, or I grouped three of them, three being NEXTGEOSS, Eshape, and Food Security TEP, and they're all, well, more related to the ICT infrastructure or the federated approach that GeoGlam wants to take, because they're all kind of dedicated to infrastructure as well. So NEXTGEOSS is actually a Horizon 2020 project that is actually coming to an end. I think we just finalized the 4th General Assembly. So I think by the end of the year, the project should be finished. But it's going to be continued in NextLand and also in Eshape. Eshape I'll talk a bit later. NextLand is more commercial application. But NEXTGEOSS, what is NEXTGEOSS for the people that don't know it? It's actually a federated data hub to access and exploit EO data, several domains, but mainly supporting innovative and business oriented approaches. One of the target areas is agriculture. So there was an industry application, but also more public application. Public application was food security. What we did there is to showcase or demonstrate upscaling of production of biophysical parameters. Also, where scalability might be an issue. Also demonstrating the on-demand process. We improved the analytics on the time profiling, and we also created a temporal dense profile. So that's the integration of Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2 for crop type monitoring. So it was really on demonstrating those capabilities so that people that are on the platform could actually come up with the right biophysical parameters. We demonstrated over Belgium and Mali, just as two examples. We implemented Cropphenology algorithm, which can be linked, of course, to GeoGlam's EAVs, and can have a number of business applications as well. And we combine it with biophysical parameters, with metadata, and also the Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2 data integration. So it's product already in the portal, and anybody who is willing and able to access NEXTGEOSS can actually reproduce and run the product for their own area. But like I said, this is, well, NEXTGEOSS as such is coming to an end, and so we're looking at the next steps. And one of those next steps is Eshape, where part of these algorithms will be continued on in Eshape for development. Eshape as such is not a platform. Eshape will be using platforms. So what is Eshape? Eshape is also a Horizon 2020 project, and it's really focused towards establishing the regional geo, so EuroGeo. There's 27 pilots distributed over 7 use cases, where agriculture, of course, is one. And there we take on board like the Cropphenology and the crop calendars development that was started in NEXTGEOSS. But like I said, this is not a platform, so only the algorithms and the development becomes available to the community. What is key here is, so we continue the development, but also what is key for GeoGlam is, in Europe there are a number of platforms available. It's sometimes difficult to know which platform to select and which one not to select, and why you're selecting one or the other, and which one performs better than the other one for whatever reason or for whatever type of application that you want to do. And this is actually one of the tests that we will be doing in Eshape. So the algorithms that we're developing here in this pilot will be tested over different platforms, but also integrated in different platform independent softwares to see what the results are. And that is something that will flow directly into the GeoGlam knowledge hub or common practice work, I guess. Just to give an overview of what we're doing. So there's a part of in situ data collection in Greece and Ethiopia. Yeah, due to COVID, this has been a bit of a delay. On the in situ data side, we're also working with AgroStack. AgroStack is a database developed by Wageningen, which is dedicated to store in situ data sets in different formats. Within NEXTGEOSS, we built a nice viewer on that so that you can actually easily extract to see what kind of information is available. We will be building on that a bit further, and that will also flow into another GeoGlam contributing initiative called World Serial, which I've already talked about or will be talking about later on. And then, of course, I think what we're doing now is, on the one hand side, comparing all the different platforms. We're going to start with that implementation. So on the NEXTGEOSS, in NEXTGEOSS, that was already implemented. On the other platforms, we're going to do the implementation now, along with implementations of OpenEO, etc., and then do the full comparison. So by the end of this year, early next year, that report should be ready on the comparison of those different platforms for agricultural applications. So I think that might be of interest for the GeoGlam community as well. And then a final one, another platform which will also be tested within Eshape is, of course, Food Security TEP. Food Security TEP has just finalized its first contract, and we're now moving into the second contract. It's on a yearly basis, so the platform is still be there, tools are still available, data access is still available, and you can apply for processing of different algorithms on Food Security TEP. We're actually in the next phase also, the crop calendars, Cropphenology will be implemented on Food Security TEP as a demonstrator to show these results and to be part of the Eshape comparison, of course. And with that, I would like to thank you for the short overview of these 3 contributing initiatives on IT. And I think they nicely show that this federated approach, so there are a number of platforms where you can calculate a number of algorithms, but also mapping. I forgot to mention that Send2Agri is also implemented now on Food Security TEP. So you can run your processing of crop type mapping also on Food Security TEP. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the results of the benchmarking results of all those platforms, and I think that would be a big contribution to GeoGlam as well. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.